All right, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Marlon G. Back at y'all another episode of my dog Bryan from Saints Twitter. How you doing, B?
I'm good, fam. What's happening with you?
I'm chilling, man. We ain't been running in a while, man. I ain't really want to have the same redundant topics and stuff like that. I like to let things, shape and unfold and then come give my little 2 cents on it. You know what I'm talking about? But a lot of stuff has transpired since the last time we got on this thing and started running it, man. But the first thing we might as well go ahead and talk about the topic of the day right now, man. We got our tight end,
Mm.
the one that's very promising to a lot of people. Jawan Johnson, he sustained an injury through the offseason, so he's been getting a lot of snaps even before the injury. I think we got Dallin Holker, man. He just got drafted, I believe, to the UFL, the fifth pick. Took Saints Twitter by surprise. A lot of people was confused, including myself. I'm pretty sure you have a much more knowledge on this type of ordeal. Like, explain like the way he could get drafted by the UFL when we already had drafted him, and I think that we gave him like a signing bonus or stuff or something. So he was already signed to us. Like, how could stuff like that happen?
Well, I mean, it's really almost like double dipping. You know what I'm saying? Because he was undrafted, he has the option. It's almost like, man, like what the NBA does with the two-way player contracts. It's kind of one of those similar situations. You know what I'm saying? Like he's basically a Saint. So Birmingham. God bless them. It's a wasted pick for them because if you have a choice between playing in the G League or playing in the NBA, you can always pick the NBA. So I kind of think that's the same situation here. The NFL, got first rights on him. He ain't about to pass up going and play for the Saints to go play for the USFL. But I still think it was a smart move on their part because if he doesn't get picked up by the Saints, because I mean he is an undrafted free agent rookie, signed, sealed, delivered, if you want to call it that, yes, but he hasn't made the roster yet. So for him, it's a good look. The Saints want you. They've signed you as an undrafted free agent. You have a chance to make it in the NFL. And if you don't, by any chance, stretch of the imagination, you get cut. Well, you got a backup plan because the UFL, USFL, Birmingham Stallions, I believe is what they're called, man. They drafted him in the fifth round. So no matter which way it goes, he'll be playing professional football. That's a good thing for him. As far as Birmingham, it might be a wasted pick. And as far as the New Orleans Saints, smart money is he makes the roster. Jawan Johnson or not, he was in trouble anyway. But I still think Dallin has a huge chance to not only make the roster but make an impact this year.
So he was drafted fifth overall or in the fifth round.
I believe it's fifth round, but I might have to look at that again. I kept seeing fifth, 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 fifth. I never really paid attention, to be honest, man, with fifth round or fifth overall. I want to say, if I remember correctly by seeing the headline, it was fifth round.
Let me make sure. So that's why I like to.
I'm sorry, my apologies. What I'm saying here, I pulled it up just now, bro. It says with the fifth pick.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think he was fifth overall.
Damn. So if he just joins us, that's like a wasted pick for them. Like, damn.
It really is. It really is. It's like burning the first round pick for him.
So
And
I wonder,
I don't see the situation happening to where he leaving the Saints.
so I wonder if like his agent reaches out to that team Birmingham and they like, okay, well we taking you high. We really hope that you make this decision to come play with us. Barring whatever happened with your situation with New Orleans. So I'm guessing they really had to have a talk with him. Huh? Like you think
I
they?
mean, you would think that they'd reach out, but the reality of it is, unless they're gonna pay him more than what the Saints paid him, and somehow the USFL becomes a bigger entity in the next month, not even month, but maybe a week and a half now, because training camp starts in about a week and a half. So unless the USFL all of a sudden gets this major push of more, maybe it comes from Dubai or something like that, and they buy into it, and all of a sudden now it's a bigger league than the NFL. I mean, it really was a wasted pick because you're not going to the USFL over the NFL. So you would think his agent would have reached out and told him, hey, look, I think he's happy with New Orleans, but you guys can do what you want to do anyway. So they'll have rights on him above any other USFL team. But as far as the NFL is concerned, man, he's going to be a New Orleans Saint. And in my bet of almost a lock to make the 53-man roster.
Hmm. Well, we're gonna see how this play out. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be a Saint, though. I know a lot of people have a lot of high hopes for this kid, man, and I just hope it don't be the same thing like how it was with Lucas Crawl last year and just putting all this pressure on him, and he just don't live up to the amount of expectations, because it's different when we kind of like putting the pressure on him than us joking with the Spence Rattler thing. Like this Spence Rattler thing, this could literally change the whole franchise. Like everything could be different, and he hits out. So we're gonna have to see, man. We're gonna do another interaction show this time around, B. So if anybody in the comments got any questions for you, I'm gonna go ahead on and let them ask. got Jerry in the comment section first. Jerry, if you got any questions for B, go ahead on and put it down in the comment section. He'll get to you as soon as possible. Says, what up, Marley G and Bryan? What up, Jerry? Yeah, man. Jerry being all the Saints content creators showing support, man. So shout out to Jerry. But let's go ahead on and get to other news, man. We got St. Brown, the St. Brown podcast, man. I'm still having a hard time pronouncing this young man's name. I think his name is Equanimous.
Inequius.
Inquedequius?
Yeah, Inequius St. Brown.
Inequius St. Brown. Okay. He went on his brother. Well, not his brother, but him and his brother have a podcast just like the Kelsey brothers. And, they were just talking about, the Saints. They were talking about New Orleans. And, he started mentioning about the Saints food not the Saints food, New Orleans food. And just almost like the same path that Derek Carr took last year. It's like, the first thing he ate was Chipotle. It's like, come on, man. Like, you got to get out there in the city. You got to experience. You got to experience the 5-star restaurants, but you also got to go in the hood and experience the restaurants that's not getting a lot of love that Keith Lee tried to put on the map. So what do you think about those comments about the food? And also, what do you think about the comments they had with the back and forth with the Lions with basically Amon Brown saying that the Lions are in contention right now versus the Saints? They're not really in contention. They're just fighting for starter jobs and, guys are trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, let's get the fun part out the way first, man. People talking about New Orleans food. Keith Lee be about to go into a food coma every time you see this man, saying he tasted New Orleans food. It don't matter if it's a snack or if it's a real meal. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a nationally acclaimed, food critic at this point. So Inequius St. Brown comments, it's almost like, going to a spot, man, like New Orleans, and then, like you said, going to Chipotle. It was the same thing. He damn near picked the same thing. You went to one of the most, world-renowned places, for food, and you went and got, tourist food. Well, you got what you paid for. Now, in order for you to really know New Orleans, you got to go to the spots. Like, I feel like that's a little bit of New Orleans' fault too, because a lot of the times we prop up Dragos and Mothers and all these places like that, when that's not the real food places. I don't know about you, fam, but when I'm home, I don't go to Mothers, I don't go to Dragos, because I know better. I've been there before. You know what I'm saying? I'm from New Orleans. I know what's happening. So I'm not about to send somebody there. I'm not about to send them to Murrow's or nowhere like that. I'm gonna send them to the food spots I go eat at, and I think that's a big problem. New Orleans will send you to the popular places instead of where we go to eat. 9 times out of 10, that's Grandma's Kitchen. But if you can't send them to Granny's Kitchen, then what you need to do is go ahead on and send them somewhere where you're going to go eat at, in his ball game. Now, as far as his ability to make the roster, that was already shaky. Dennis Allen don't give a damn about whether or not he insulted New Orleans or not. But I mean, it's a bad omen for him, especially when you got to do like, Bub Means, who's injured right now, but still has a good chance to make the roster. You got Stanley Morgan, you got Cedric Wilson, all of these dudes, man. So you got a bunch of dudes that can make the roster. It's never a question of whether another undrafted guy could come up and make some moves. So his spot was never a lock anyway. So for him to make that comment, stupid move on your part from from a fan perspective. And as far as the roster is concerned, it's hard to really argue with what his brother said, because like it or not, right now the Detroit Lions are a better team than New Orleans Saints. I don't give a damn about the history of how bad the Lions have been, because let's be real, the Saints don't have a great long history of winning either. So we got to get off that. But you can't argue with the truth. And most people, he's just hating, and I ain't gonna let the Lions talk about. Well, hold up, pause. I don't give a damn what the Saints was 5 years ago. Who are they right now? And that's the problem. Well, I mean, if you a real fan, you ain't gonna let nobody. Can we please, for God's sake, stop this bullshit about who's a real fan and who's not? Because the last time I checked, when the Saints got those Super Bowl rings, they ain't pass out rings to the fans saying, "Oh, you a real fan," or "You a fake fan, so I didn't get one." I call a spade a spade. I don't dance unless I hear music. That's what it is, and it's gonna stay like that. If the Lions are a better team right now, I'm gonna say they're a better team right now. Point blank, period. What you want me to do? Lie to you? Can't do it.
And I said the same thing, man. I said on Twitter, I was like, man, I'm past, trash talking other teams. I'm just worried about my team. Like, before we could just, talk about somebody else's dirty laundry, we got to make sure somebody else's dirty lawn, we got to make sure our lawn is clean. And right now we need a master landscaper. Like, we got to get the meat and potatoes of the roster straight. We still got to get special teams right. We still got to get the pass rush, the O-line, the quarterback, the head coach. We got to figure out all these things. Granted, we do have a good roster, but the meat and potatoes of the roster we got to fix. And the meat and potatoes of the Lions roster, they're pretty good, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like right now they're in a better position right now to win it all. Like that's all the other brother said on the show. Like I don't think what he said was just something that could just get a spark out of his brother or just some sibling rivalry or nothing. I think what he said was what everybody really kind of think about the Saints right now at this moment. So until we prove people otherwise, we got to go out there and show and prove. Until then, we just can't just be living in the past. Otherwise, we're gonna be the same as Cowboys fans, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But
And here's the crazy thing, fam. Before we move on to the next topic, bro, you have a brother and so do I.
yeah,
If you and your brother going back and forth about a topic, and your brother tell you something that you full on believe is just BS, would you react as calmly as he did? Because that's something that's fucking that very telling that people not looking at. Amon-Ra St. Brown basically told his brother, y'all trash. And his brother absolutely said nothing to discredit that. He was like, his brother told him, we've gotten better, y'all have not. And he basically was like, oh man, well, I don't really know. Hell no. If that's me and I'm a Saints player and I think our roster better than theirs, it's an argument. We about to go on for 5-10 minutes of arguing. If the Kelsey brothers was on and Travis told Jason, we better than y'all, and Jason believed differently, that would have been an argument. It would have been good TV or good entertainment, but it would have been an argument. He couldn't even argue it. And that's what lets me know everything I need to. And it was very telling that one of the NFL players looked at the Saints roster and said that. Because if he said it, imagine how many other teams think it.
right, man. These players know, bro. I be saying it all the time. Like they're gonna get in front of the camera and they're gonna say the political correct answer, but deep down inside, them players know it's no different when you was in school or when you was in college. Everybody know everybody's strengths. Everybody know everybody's weaklings. Everybody gonna talk about people and say, yeah, I think he's this, I think he's that. It's no different than when Jalen Brown was saying, oh yeah, I don't think Bryan he a pro right now. A lot of people had said, oh, it was hate or whatever, but I just think he was just giving his honest opinion while he was watching them. That's just how I feel. But to everybody in the comments, we doing an interactive show this time around. So if you got any questions for Bryan, go ahead on and type your questions down in the comment section and we'll get to it as soon as possible. Our next question right now is from Jerry. He said, but I do have a question for both of that. He said, what camp battles are you looking forward to next week?
For me, man, I ain't gonna lie. It's corner is a big spot for me that I want to look forward to, man. I don't think the offensive line have any battles per se, so I ain't really worried about that. The backup quarterback job, I'm looking to see who gonna get it. Is Spencer gonna kind of snap into shape or whatever like that, or is Jake Hayner really just a kind of a sleeper? I don't believe he is. I still think Spencer has the more talent, but sometimes motivation a hell of a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it can be crazy on how somebody can get drafted and all of a sudden it motivates you to kind of play better. So the backup QB battle, the cornerback battle for sure. Because I mean, we know Marshawn is starting on one side, we know Paulson on the other. But when it comes to Kool-Aid man, and it comes to Alante, that's gonna be a fight right there, man. That in fact, physically it might go down like that because both of them boys want the spot. So that's one I'm looking forward to seeing, man. And I think if I had to guess anymore, who's gonna play linebacker? Because the Saints brought in some linebackers to help out, man. So we'll see it.
All right, what up, T Dirty? T Dirty up in the chat saying, what up, fellas? We got Justin Sibilian. He said, sorry for the interruption, but my dog B keep getting that money on the road. He also
salute, fam. Appreciate that.
He also has a question. He said, what's the vibe with AK? Are we going to resign him?
If I had to guess, man, I would say they working on it. Because I think AK, if I'm not mistaken, posted something on his IG today or whatever of him in the Saints uniform and stuff like that. So apparently, even though it's a contract situation, he not basically saying I'm not abandoning my brothers. I just need mine. If I had to guess on it, I said they'll work something out that's a little bit more favorable, but it's not going to be a true extension. So if anybody's getting this idea that Alvin about to be around for the next 3 to 5 years, that's dead weight. It actually makes more sense for the Saints not to. So if I'm Mickey, I play hardball. I make Alvin basically show up without a new contract, I should say. But probably more often than not, they'll try to work something to where he's a little bit happier than what he is. Again, I think I said this last time I was on the show. I wouldn't give him a dime. I'd make him play out his contract, and then at the end of the year, I wish him farewell. That's me. What I think is going to happen is I think they'll work something out to where, both sides are amicably be happy or amicable, right now to where they're both happy. But next year, it's a part of both sides.
How soon do you think this will get worked out, though?
Man, deadlines only happen when they have to. I think Alvin gonna show up for training camp, and if he don't, he's gonna be a holdout. He's gonna get fined. But I think when week 1 roll around and it's time to play the Carolina Panthers or whoever, I think Alvin gonna be out there.
All right, all right. Well, as far as the positions battles on my end, I think I'm ready for the Jake and Spence Rattler show. Like man, as soon as Derek calls it a day when this preseason game start, I'm gonna be really locked into this TV because I want to see what Jay's gonna do. Me, I really like Jake. Like it's just something about that dude. I really just like him. Like he kind of Brock Purdy-ish to me. Like he ain't really got a lot of the physical attributes. He ain't really got a lot of elite talent, but it's just something about him as a competitor that I just like about him. I remember looking at his highlights when he had that back and forth game with the quarterback from the Browns, Dorian Thompson, I think.
Yeah.
That was a good ass game right there they had. But I'm ready for Jake and I'm ready for snake season, bro. I'm ready for snake season, bro. Spence Rattler, if he pans out, like I say, that could change our whole franchise. And I'm just ready for the new era of Saints football, bro. Like, depending on how those guys pan out, it's going to be very, very good. Now, a lot of people, they got us. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot of people. One guy had us taking the guy from I think Texas, the quarterback number 110 overall. Eros, what's his name? I'm not really familiar with college like that.
Oh man, don't give me the line, bro.
Quint Edwards or something like that.
Yeah, little young bro from Texas, the UT,
yeah,
Texas, man.
But shoot, if we could get him, that would be cool. But I would rather Spence Rattler or Jake Hanna work out. Like if one of them could work out, that'd be even better than us spending another pick in the top half of the draft. But we ain't never take a first round pick since Archie. So maybe that's gonna really change our fortune. So we're gonna have to see.
I mean, I would hope that Spencer pans out, to be honest with you, bro, because I think especially on a fifth round, QB salary, it will go so far for the Saints or whatever like that. And by the time he's ready to go, you get 2 years out of him. You pay him whatever the quarterback market is at that time, and you can probably still lowball him depending on how well he's played at that point, man. So for me, I'm Team Spencer for real. Not to mention that, bro, but I just think, man, it would be a really, really good story for overall, man. That came basically got kicked around a little bit, man. Came up and he kind of fit what what New Orleans is. He kind of fit the mold on what it is to be, a Saint, man, or a New Orleans person, period. Get kicked around, not really getting the recognition you deserve, man. So when you get out there and you ball out, you do it with your chest. So I kind of like his story, man. I'm Team Spence all the way, bro.
All right, let's see. Justin got another question. He says, if you do go that route, would you go free agency or draft? I think he's talking about the AK situation as well.
I mean, for me, if AK is gone next year, then I think it's smart for you to go in a draft with him because you got Kendra, you're gonna lose Jamal. So when you lose AK, you're losing Jamal and AK in the same season. So we got to make sure we keep that clear. So you're gonna have to go in the draft. I still think they'll sign a free agent running back. So it's gonna be veteran, young guy in Kendra, and then you draft the rookie as well. So that'll be your stable moving forward.
Okay, well. I mean, I still believe in Kendra. Like, I don't know what happened last season. I don't know if it was the injury. I don't know if he was just in a doghouse with DA. But I really think that kid got some. I think he got like a special factor to him. I think he remind me of Kyrie Robinson. I really like the Kyrie Robinson. That's one thing about the Saints, man. We had a lot of good running backs from Chris Ivory to Kyrie Robinson to Mark Ingram, Pierre Thomas. The list goes on and on. Like, we can't miss when it comes to running backs. But I really feel like Kendra, he really got a lot to just, prove to everyone. We're gonna see how he do in this new system. Clint Kubiak, man, he got a lot to show everybody, bro. He got the toys. The toys are there. Now, if everybody say this system don't really need good offensive linemen, that remains to be seen. But we're gonna have to see. But I really feel like everybody just said, "Oh, we're gonna be the 49ers. We're gonna be the 49ers." But I really think that Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy is different than Dennis Allen and Derek Carr, and Clint Kubiak, he just going to have to come in and just be like a miracle worker because it's just something about Brock Purdy that just got certain intangibles and he just got certain stuff that you can't teach. Like, I really feel like those players really like him in that locker room. I really feel like he does things to extend the play. I really feel like he just got that competitive spirit and that will to win. And Kyle Shanahan, man, he just been up in there cooking up. He's been cooking up. Like, one thing about the 49ers, I always been beef with them because we had a rivalry in my family. My uncle, he loved the 49ers. He hate the Saints, and just every time we play each other, it'd be a big old thing. But man, I gotta tip my hat to that organization, man. They building a machine over there. Like they always in it. Like, man, they just a good organization, bro. That's a good football club. And what I think that Kyle is doing over there, I think a lot of people just think that Clint Kubiak gonna instantly come up in here and emulate that. And that's a lot of pressure.
This man, seeing the 49ers right now, bro, is like remembering how they was in the late 80s, early 90s, man. It's very reminiscent of that. There was one of them ones back then, and we was all in the same division. Back then, it was the NFC West. It was the Saints, the Rams, the Falcons, and the 49ers. And every year, the 49ers would come through and tear that ass up, bro. So I got a strong hatred for them, but also a strong respect as well. Now, as far as the new system is concerned, I think there's a lot to be seen with it. And I'm not one of those people that's going to knock the system, but I'm also not one of those people that's going to just outright praise it. We're going to find out real early what it's like, man, because the Saints going to be tested. Now, do I think there's going to be some benefits? Of course I do. But I think way too many people are trying to be reminiscent of when Sean Payton hired Greg Williams and all of a sudden everything clicked. It's not really that type of situation. I know we were spoiled on it before, but it's not that. Because the one thing Sean didn't have to worry about was if he had talent on the defensive side of the ball. He knew he had talent. He just knew the guys he had coaching, they couldn't get the best out of his talent. Well, this is not the same situation. The Saints have skill players. We know what Alvin can do. We know we believe in what Kendrick can do. We know what Taysom can do. We got a little bit of taste of what Olave and Shaheed can do. But that's about it. We don't know what they're going to look like at tight end right now. We don't know what they're going to look like on the offensive line. So for me, it's way too many ifs at very key spots. We don't know what Derek Carr is other than what we've seen throughout his history, which is he's a very mediocre quarterback. He looks good between the 20s. He struggles in the red zone. His stats aren't going to look real damn good, but he doesn't win when it counts. I mean, this is all we've ever known them to be. And I don't know why people are all of a sudden, threw on their black and gold goggles. They're ignoring history to say, you know what? Nah, this is our year. If you banking on what happened with Sean Payton and Greg Williams, you might be bankrupting a little bit. I wouldn't put all my money in that.
I think like 2 days ago, Brandon Ayuk requested a trade. I think we've seen the same thing happen before with Deebo Samuels, but he wound up staying with the team. I could picture Ayuk probably staying with the team. But do you think the Saints should go ahead on and try to make a trade for this guy? Because I feel like, we need another dog at wide receiver, especially if we're not going to have a dog at tight end right now. That's, a for sure thing. And I think that Ayuk, he could provide a lot of help for this team. And on top of that, he's familiar with Clint Kubiak. So what do you think about the Saints trying to see what's up with Ayuk?
I think the Saints should make a phone call and Mickey should prepare himself to be laughed off the damn phone. I mean, I just think that's what's happening. I think the Saints should make the call. If you're smart, you do. You make the call, you find out what they want for him. Okay, cool. This is what you're asking for. Cool. You call his agent. What is he looking for money-wise? That's what he wants. Okay, cool. You should do your due diligence. No question. Do I think the Saints can pull it off? Hell no. What can you give the 49ers that they're going to want? And you can't, unload the clip on draft picks because you're going to need them moving forward. So, I mean, you're really in a tough spot. You don't really have the cap to move forward to go and get a dude like that and pay him that kind of money because, again, we're talking about all the potential people the Saints going to have to pay. You possibly going to have to pay Chase Young. That could happen. You're going to either have to keep Marshawn and pay him or you got to pay Paulson and Debo. That could happen. You don't have your safety spot solidified, so you're going to need a safety. It's like the Saints have too many I don't gots to be talking about they're going to trade for a wide receiver, and you can't give up a first-round pick. Can't do it. So with that being said, I mean, yeah, you should call, but when the Saints offer a fifth-round pick and some candy, the 49ers going to laugh their ass off the phone and call it a day.
Yeah, man. We got Hurricane Mike up in here. He said, what's up? Yeah, Mike, we're doing questions right now for B. So if you got any questions, just put them in the comment section and we'll get to it as soon as possible. We're running down with everybody questions right now. This is an interactive episode again. So, yeah, man, y'all got any questions for Bryan? You know his Saints, bro. Y'all go ahead on and put it in the comment section. Back to the Saints. I think I was seeing something about the Saints possibly, got to be talking about that contract again when it comes to ownership and possibly moving. Like, is that like a real thing that can happen right now? But I thought that the will that Benson wrote was like the Saints can't go nowhere.
Something like that. It's a succession plan, man. So basically, it just lays it out. If the Saints are gonna sell, and let's say, I'm saying me and Maul play the Powerball, man, the Mega Millions. I hit the Powerball, Maul hit the Mega Millions. We got enough money to buy the Saints. even if we buy the Saints and be like, you know what, man, putting the Saints in Mexico City would be a hell of a lot more money than keeping them in New Orleans. I think it's, from what I understand, I want to say it's a 10-year thing to where if you buy him, you can't move him for 10 years. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say that's the number. It could be 5, but I want to say it's 10. So for 10 years, you can't move him anyway. By that time, the city and the state should have came up with some type of plan to make it to where they can stay. So can the Saints be moved? Yes. Will the Saints be moved? It's highly unlikely. And why would you want to when New Orleans is a crazy media market? It's one of the cities that have hosted the Super Bowl, I want to say, the most times, us in Miami, if I'm not mistaken. So why would you want to lose that? Now, do I think the Superdome could use some upgrades? Sure. But I don't think it's a situation to where they have to really worry about the Saints going anywhere, even if Mama Gale should happen to pass away, God forbid. But I think the Saints are straight, man, no matter what. I think they're going to work it out. The Saints are, doing what they're supposed to do, trying to get more money from the state. The state is doing what they're supposed to do, trying to lower the cost of what it's going to cost to keep the Saints here. Everybody doing what they're supposed to. Eventually, it's going to work out. And I think they'll sign another 10-year, 15-year lease or something like that, and they'll be around for another 10, 15 years. And again, if they sell in that time, then you got to keep the team here another 10 years anyway.
Well, shoot, no matter where this team go, I'm gonna go ahead on and follow them because I ain't gonna have no home team per se anymore. So I'll just go ahead on and follow them at this point. But
I damn near be willing to bet if the Saints ever left New Orleans, I'd be damn near willing to bet the NFL puts another team in New Orleans within a 10-year span. Now it ain't gonna be the Saints. So I think that team gonna have a hard time catching on. But let's say what happens like it did, man, in like Seattle right now. If Seattle gets a basketball team, that damn stadium gonna be sold out every game for like the next 5 years. If the Saints should ever leave New Orleans, whatever team come in gonna have a hard time gaining traction. But because New Orleans gonna be so stalled for football and a pro team, I think that team's gonna do very well marketing wise as far as kind of rebranding and getting in here. So I don't think it's gonna be a lost cause, man. But I just don't see the Saints going nowhere.
Damn, bro, I ain't never think of that shit. Like if that happened, I'm gonna still root for the Saints that left. But if a new team come in and embrace the city, shit, man, that's gonna be
that's basically what happened in Houston. The Titans left. I mean, the Oilers left, became the Titans. Houston had to wait. They finally got a team, and now they got something they could be proud of, man. But it was some tough sledding at first, man. There are still people in Houston that aren't Texans fans. They're Titans fans because the team left and went that way. So it's a crazy situation, man.
All right, let's see. Hey, No Cap, I have a question for you. Do you want to join my show this week? I asked TJ, but I don't think he read it. Yeah, I'll join your show, man. You just gotta get with me, Hurricane, and we can see if we can work something out. I see you had put another question in, Hurricane. We actually already answered that in the beginning of the show, but I guess we could talk about it a little bit more. He says, do you agree with what Amon-Ra St. Brown said about the Saints to his brother, B? Like, I guess
I want it. Yeah, I run it back and tell him again, man. For me, I absolutely agree with him. Now the only part I don't agree with was the part when he said nobody in the Saints locker room believes they can win a Super Bowl. Because I do believe they think they can win it. I think they know it's a long shot, but I think they believe they can. It's possible to happen. Like I believe I can win the Powerball and the Mega Millions. It just ain't happened yet. I play faithfully, but damn it, it ain't happened. That's kind of what the Saints are right now. The faith is there, the hope is there, but the reality of it happening is slim and none and slim on life support. That being said, I do agree. I think the roster for the Detroit Lions is better than the Saints. I think the Saints, are in a situation to where, they're an inferior team to the Lions at this point right now. If you want to talk about historically, yeah, the Saints are a better team. Or franchise, whatever you want to call it. Right now, nah, man. Right now, the Lions are a better team. Point blank, period. The Lions are proving the Saints are potential. And as far as my man saying that TJ didn't come on his podcast, man, I think that's foul as hell and he ain't answering. I don't know TJ to call him a good dude or a bad dude. I just think he's a jackass from what I see on Twitter. And I think he has a lot of this big headedness going on, man, to where it's like, I think I'm bigger than what I am, and I don't, so I don't answer everybody and shit like that, man. I find that to be, foul as hell. I've been a dude that's been on major radio, bro, and I've been on the smallest of things because I don't give a damn. Who the hell am I to want to act like I'm somebody? If I was Stephen A. Smith big, I would still holler at my man Maul because that's family to me. So I have a problem with dudes that do that type of stuff, man. That ain't what it is for me. So, if Hurricane Mike is having a problem getting people on, man, holler at Maul, holler at me. I'll try to help y'all, family.
Well, TJ, he actually been on my show before. He do what he can. He just a lot busy right now. I think he got a lot of different podcasts he's trying to do. Like he do the Saints. He covering the whole NFL. He do the Bleacher Report. Like he got a lot going on. But
I hope that's the case.
I
I
think
hope
he'll
that's the
do good.
case.
So like he do get a lot of bashing on Twitter for his takes, but overall, I enjoy his content. I enjoy his show. I think he's doing a good thing over there.
I mean, to be honest, I don't watch, bro. So I mean, if he does, salute to him. But like I said, from his takes on Twitter, that's just not my cup of tea. And I'm understand I'm not everybody's as well.
Yeah.
But I take him to be a jackass, so I don't go that route with him.
Man, TJ, he my guy, man. You just gotta watch his show more. He'll really give out everybody flowers and he'll help out. But we got another Saints podcaster right here, keeping it real. Who That Sports podcast. Now this dude right here, this is my guy right here. This is my big brother Randall, man. Straight out the 17th, man. He be even giving back to Harrell Park, doing things in the community, bro. Like this is a real good dude right here. He really worked hard on this podcast, man. So he say he's coming on in. Yeah, Dolph, yeah, we doing an interactive show right now. So if you got any questions for me or Bryan, man, just type it down in the comment section and we'll get to it as soon as possible, man. Thanks for joining the show.
That's what's up, man. Salute to him.
Let's see. Gentlemen, give me 4 under the radar players that could surprise, 2 on offense and 2 on defense.
Oh, kind of hard, bro, because I don't know who you would consider offensively and under the radar type of player. I mean, because we like. Can you hear me, fam?
Yeah, can you hear you now.
My apologies, man. The call, man. The call picked up on me. But I mean, I don't know if you would consider Dallin Holker or whatever like that, man. I don't know if you would really consider him technically a sleeper. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, he's been hyped up so much going into the offseason and kind of with Juwan and everything going on. I don't think he's a sleeper. So I don't really know if there's a true sleeper pick offensively that we haven't heard about. I guess if we had to, I'd say Bub Means would be one of them. And offensively, besides Bub, man, I'm like, man, it's kind of hard. You know what? I'm going to say Lucas Patrick. I want to say, man, like he's a sleeper to me. I don't think Nick Saldiveri has really won that offensive left guard spot just yet. They're going to give him every opportunity to win it. So I would go Lucas Patrick, man. He was a dude that they signed, a veteran dude. I think he can very much get it, plug and play and be good. So on offense, I'm going to say Lucas Patrick, and I'm going to say Bub Means as long as he's healthy, and I think he will be. I think that's a little minor thing right there. And as far as defensively, I think Willie Gay is, I don't know if you want to consider him underrated, but I think Willie Gay is going to do some big numbers, man. And who else defensively, man? You know what, man? I'm gonna say I don't know if he's underrated or not, man, but I think who gonna pop out and show something. I think Paulson gonna ball out. That boy gonna play for a contract, and I think it's gonna be hard to to look at him and basically say, man, who do I pay? Do I keep Marshawn and re-up him, or do I pay Paulson and keep him? Somebody gone. So I'm gonna say Paulson might ball out this year, if that's what you would consider an underrated player.
I mean, he probably be underrated to the masses. Like, we know Paulson good, but your average NFL fan, if you ask them who Paulson Adebo is, they probably wouldn't know who that is. Me, I'm going to go with, on offense, I'm going to go, I think Kendrick going to have a ball out year. I think he's going to have a pretty good year. Another guy on offense, I'm going to go Cedric Wilson. I think he's going to be that veteran guy who's going to come in and he done been around a few systems around the league. So if Perry, if he's not playing up to par, if Bub Means, if he don't be along within this injury, we got that guy Cedric Wilson who's going to be that veteran on that team, who could be that wide receiver 3, who could really just come down with certain contested catches. He could make some yak, and he could just really be that guy that could help us move the chains. So I'm gonna say Cedric Wilson and Kendrick Miller. On defense, I'm gonna go. Shit, man. Damn, I don't really feel like a lot of people going under the radar on defense. I just feel like that whole defense is kind of good. Like you said, Willie Gay, but I think a lot of people think he's gonna be like another Quan Alexander. I can't really say Howden because he's making a lot of noise. Shit, man, I can't really think of nobody, and I don't really want to just piggyback off the same guys that you said, but I really can't. I just think the whole defense is going to be really, solid, especially if we could get some type of pass rush out of Chase Young. If we could get some type of pass rush of the same stature or even better from our guys on the defensive line that we're hoping that could just take that next step, like Bryan Brzee and what's the other defensive end who just got paid? His name's slipping my mind right now. Big Creek, the guy I forget.
Yeah, Carl Granderson.
Carl Granderson. Like if they could take that next leap, then sure, we should be straight when they come to the pass brush. But we're gonna have to see, bro. I really feel like they're gonna really need to stop the run, and they're gonna really need to have a pass rush if they want to be elite, and if Dennis Allen want to get that elite title. Because to me, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get Dennis Allen the elite defensive coordinator title. I just think he got a lot of talent. That's just me. But I do give him credit for the secondary. The secondary, bar none, always balls out. We got Dana G in the comment section. What up, Dana? What up, girl? If you got any questions for Bryan, go ahead on and put your question down in the comment section, Dana. We're gonna get to it as soon as possible. We did a couple of questions so far. We see Mike got a question. Let's see. Do you think people disrespect us because the lack of talent or lack of coaching or both?
I think it's both, because if you paid attention to the conversation between the Brown brothers, man, the St. Brown brothers, I should say, if you see the conversation, the first thing he led off with from the clip was, we got better this offseason and you guys didn't. So I think that's a part of the roster that he looked at. He looked at, who left the Lions and who came back, who left the Saints and who came back. And it's a little bit of, you know what? If y'all lose that guy, but you don't bring in another guy to replace him that's just equally as good, then, you're kind of losing out. Kind of like, let's use Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for an example. You lose a Chauncey who's not, who played for the Lions and, kind of helped their defense. When you lose him and you don't really replace him, you put Alontae in that spot. He played well at times, man, but the slot really ain't Alontae thing. So for a dude that plays with Chauncey, everybody know how Chauncey is, man. He a shit starter. He get everybody, he get everybody hype. So you lose that, you never replace it. So people looking at it like, well, damn, you never really replaced the Chauncey. So that's why you probably looking at the roster and saying, well, we got better, y'all didn't. On the flip side of that, when it comes to coaching, it's a brand new coaching staff for a second year. That's hard to, that it's hard to overcome sometimes because it's a lot of moving parts. And for a dude like Derek Carr, historically, he struggles in the first year of a new system. So now you bringing him in last year, a system that was supposed to be tailor-made for him by playing that Drew Brees system, and Derek Carr was supposed to be very Drew Brees-like. He struggled. His numbers look decent, but he struggled. Now you're going to replace him with another system in which he has to get comfortable with. First year again. If Derek Carr give you the same numbers he got last year, I think I told you this before, Mar, I think the Saints going to look better on paper or look better when they play, and they might still have worse results.
Well, to me, I think Hurricane, I think that when it comes to talent, I do think we have talent. I do think if we had a better head coach and quarterback combo, it would get us more farther along than we want. But I do think when it comes to talent, we have the talent. We have the talent on the defense. We have the talent on the offense. The problem is we don't have the talent in the meat and potato parts of these units. Like when it comes to the offensive line, we have questions at the offensive line. Too many questions to just say, okay, we good. When you have those many questions, you can't really just say, oh, yeah, they're going to be good because there's too many questions. There's too many things that you got to hope to go right. So offensive line is a big part of offensive success. It gives the quarterback time. It has the quarterback in comfort. It gives the running back holes. It boosts up the play action. It does a whole lot of things. And without the offensive talent, how can Clint Kubiak really cook? So, we have those question marks on offense. We have those question marks with the quarterback. Like, how good can Derek Carr be? Has he reached his peak already? Can he prove that he's still good? Can he have a Geno Smith type of year that he had with the Seahawks on his first season? Like, we still have those things that we're trying to see about him. When it comes to the wide receiver and tight end, like, we don't have no elite dog, in my opinion. A lot of people think that Olave is elite or whatever, but I don't really just think he's in the top 5 just yet. He has a lot to prove. He still got to get his yak up. He still got to get these contested catches down. He still got to be that guy that you can just really count on and take over a game. And we don't have that at tight end. If we had that at tight end, I wouldn't really worry about receiver as much. And on defense, I really just think that we got to stop the run and we got to get the pass rush. The linebackers, I'm fine with. I think Willie Gay going to be a nice addition. I think Pete Werner, he's pretty solid. And I think DeMario Davis, he's an ageless wonder. When it comes to the secondary, that's the only credit I give Dennis Allen. The secondary going to be good, bar none. Like, we could scout secondary talent and we get the best out of our secondary talent. So I'm not worried about the secondary. But before the secondary could be good, you still got to have a good pass rush and you got to be able to stop the run to get a one-dimensional team. And that's how I feel about when it comes to the talent. Now, the coaching, I just think we lack in coaching at the top. Like Dennis Allen, I just don't think he's a good coach for leaders of men. I don't think he could coach a team. That's just me.
I mean, you said it about the head coach, bro. But at this point, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you, man, I'm not really sure I understand the strategy for the offensive line. Be it for me to question him because he get to see it every day. But we have a drafted left tackle that's been moved to right tackle. We have a drafted right tackle that's been moved to left tackle. This shit just sounds so confusing. I don't know what the hell going on right now. And it's kind of crazy that we have it like that because that's the bookend spots in what you need. On top of that, in the middle of the team, the only thing you have that you know of is Eric McCoy. Cesar Ruiz, we got, like you said, bro, it's a matter of we have to hope that Cesar Ruiz can play well. The left guard spot, we still don't know who's even going to man that spot just yet. So it's 4 spots on the offensive line. We have no clue what's going to happen. The only one we know of is in the middle, and that's Eric McCoy.
Well, I think a lot of people are banking on the 49ers. Like I think the only first rounder they have on the offensive line is the left guard and Trent Williams, I believe. And everybody else is like 4th and 5th rounders. They put all their stock into their skill positions, and they just let the trenches. This is gonna be what it is. Like as long as y'all can hold up for 2 seconds, we good. We ain't gonna worry about it. But I don't think that could be the blueprint for just everybody like that. That same thing ain't just gonna happen for everybody. And also, Brock Purdy is not Derek Carr. Kyle Shanahan is not Dennis Allen. Like the head man and the trigger man are two totally different people. So just to think that same blueprint is going to emulate. It don't matter who out there on the offensive line, as long as the skill positions are good and as long as Clint Kubiak cooking up, we good. Like it don't work like that.
And too many people are getting it confused about talent when it comes to that. Like, do I believe Fuaga has talent? Absolutely. Here's what I don't know: if he can play left tackle. That's what we gonna find out real soon. Because here's the reality of it: are you right-handed or left-handed, Maul?
Right.
What would you think happened, bro, if you had to put your right arm in a sling and right with your left hand, and you had to do that for a month?
It's gonna take a while.
Bingo. And that's exactly how I feel, because you're so like human nature is a crazy thing, bro, and force of habit is even worse. So if I'm used to taking a step with my right foot to kick out every time, and now when I take that step, I got to take my left foot and do it, it's got to take some time for that to become a force of habit. The minute pressure happens to you, you know what the first thing you do? You revert back to what you know to be human nature. So if I'm used to taking a right step and I've got it down pat, I could take a left step. I take a left step. I take a left step, and all of a sudden that is 3rd and 9, game on the line, bull rush coming. You know it because you see the defense blitzing. Instead of you thinking, let me make sure I step with my left first, and it's not habit yet, the first thing you might do is step with your right because that's what you used to doing when pressure's on, and that's all it takes sometimes is that half a second to come through to where you step with the wrong foot first, and that defensive end just blew by you, sack, strip fumble, going the other way, ball game. Whoever you playing wins that game because you're so used to being, let me kick out with my right foot first instead of my left foot. It's really something as simple as that.
Well, like you say, man, we're going to get tested very early because I think the Saints are going to be 1-0, come week 1. But come week 2, when we got to go on the road to Dallas, and you got Michael Parsons, he going to feast on Trevor Penning, and then you're like, y'all put a rookie who's been a right tackle all this time at left tackle? He's going to feast. And then you got to think about Diggs. He's going to be coming back. So you're going to have Bland on one end, and then you're going to have Diggs on the other end. I know for sure Derek Carr going to throw a pick that game. I really think that this offensive line is very much going to get tested week 1 when we play the Dallas Cowboys with Michael Parsons coming off that edge, and we got both of those corners that had 10 picks within these last 2 seasons. Each other going to be scouring for picks from Carr. We got another question though, B. The right one says, how do you feel regarding not the depth, not having the ability to afford any injuries?
I think that's a huge component because, again, at this point when it comes to offensive line, and I'm going to just start there, we don't know what we have for the starters, much less the depth. Now, I know they signed Ole Udo and stuff like that, man. They got Luke Patrick, and, you hoping that a dude like, Nick Saldiveri can come on and make stuff happen, but you don't know what you have in your starters, let alone your depth, which you don't have very much of that either. Defensively, you don't have much depth along the defensive line like that. If Bryan Brzee goes down, we don't know what the young DT, is going to be able to pull off, man. Like, we don't know, so if Bryan Brzee goes down, we don't know what's behind that. You don't know if Chase Young is going to be fully healthy. Cam Jordan is getting up in age. Carl Granderson on the opposite side is pretty much all you have there because I want to say Tano Passanio got hurt this offseason. So you're losing that. So it's like you really don't know what you have on that either. And linebacker depth has always been a problem. Thank God DeMario's been like an Iron Man out there, man. So for me, depth-wise, across the board, the Saints don't have it.
I think the only thing they have depth with is the cornerback position, the secondary.
Yeah, the secondary.
That's probably it. We got Keeping It Real Saints podcast. We got our Dove says my 4 is tight end Michael Jacobson, safety Roderick Teamer Jr., linebacker Khaleke Hudson, right guard Mark Evans.
I mean, look, all I can say is, bro, I hope. Yeah. I hope, because right now, all we have right now is hope. If you really are a Saints fan, so for some Saints fans who come out there and pound their chest and be like 13 wins, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't see it happening. I gotta see it happen to believe it.
Let's see. He also says he can't, fam. Saw him at Senior Bowl on both sides. He's been my guy since then. I think he's talking about Fuaga.
Yeah, you talking about Fuaga. Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. That all of that's well and good, and again, I'm never going to discredit it. I wasn't at the Senior Bowl, don't know it, to be honest with you, didn't even watch it. But what I'll say is this: Senior Bowl is a hell of a lot different than what you said a moment ago, Maul. When you say that's not some rookie trying to impress coaches and stuff and scouts for the Senior Bowl. That's Micah Parsons on the other end of that. You know what I'm saying? That's the Philadelphia Eagles defense on the other end of that. That's the Kansas City Chiefs, who may not have as great of a defense, but as much pressure they're gonna put on you offensively, you're going to have to be able to keep up with them, so you can score points. And they know it too. So if Kansas City gets a 17-3 lead, you really believe the Saints going to be able to come back? I don't. So I think that's a part of the ball game too, man. Like the Saints faced some hitters this year. Last year they got lucky. You faced the Indianapolis Colts. They didn't have their young rookie quarterback. You got cooked, absolutely cooked. And I was in a building for it when you played the Texans. You got beat by a dude who ain't even playing no more in Minnesota. You got Bajent, who was with the Bears. You got Veal Cutlet, who was playing with the Giants. And you got both Tyler Heineke and Desmond Ridder when you played the Falcons. You got lucky on Baker Mayfield, the second time around because you hadn't seen him. But the whole point of that is, look how many bad quarterbacks the Saints played last year. Not going to be the case this year. You're going to play Matthew Stafford. You're going to play Dak Prescott. You're going to play Pat Mahomes. This year's going to be a whole lot different, and I'm not even talking about defensively. I'm talking about your ability to keep up points-wise with the teams you're going to be playing. Say what you want about Dallas. Their offense can cook.
Let me go ahead on and get my YouTuber on. Yeah, feel like in the show, man, go ahead on and hit the like button. We hit like 10 watches up in here. I don't think I ever hit 10 before, so shout out to y'all joining the stream. Hoping y'all like it. We got Hurricane Mike says, do you think the Saints draft could potentially be a top 10 in Saints history? I guess he's talking about this one that we just had.
I don't know. Because to be honest with you, bro, nobody can tell you that when the Saints drafted in 2006, they knew that rookie class was going to promote them to a Super Bowl. When they drafted in 2017, nobody was going to be able to say they was going to hit on damn near like 8 out of 8 picks. And if you really want to say, I think it was like 9 picks they had that year. Every single one of their picks panned out, even if it wasn't with the Saints. They just went to another team and balled out. So, I mean, with that being said, it's like I don't know just yet. I'd like to be able to say I like some of the picks that they made, but I don't know. I'd be lying if I said, because again, all we've seen is rookie minicamp, and all we've seen, is a couple of OTAs here and there, and the media has only seen one of those. So when training camp coming around real soon, and I think that's when we're gonna start seeing, what's really going on. But we ain't gonna be able to know that right now. To be honest with you, nobody knew the Saints rookie class was as good as it was until after the season when Marshawn won Rookie of the Year, and so did Alvin.
Yeah, that already set it off. When you got the Rookie of the Year on offense and a Rookie of the Year on defense, that's gonna really already let you know how your team is doing. Yeah. You just added these guys to the production for both of these units on top of the guys that you already had, the veterans and the second year players. That already let you know. But Mike, I will say
the Saints have done it twice. I give them credit for that. They've done it twice. 2006, they hit with that draft. Reggie, Roman, Colston, Zach Streif, Jari Evans, Carl Nicks. Them boys hit on that draft. So and then they came back and did it again with Jamon Bushrod. So I mean instead of Carl Nicks, I think, man. So I mean they hit on that one, and then they came back and did it in 2017. So if anybody can pull it off, the Saints have done it twice.
Yeah, man. I credit Mickey Loomis for that. Like as a GM, he gives everything that the coaches ask for. Like, and when it comes to the draft, I do believe that overall we had some good drafts. We just had some bad luck over the years, but you know, the only knock I give on Mickey Loomis is the fact that he's riding his hard with Dennis Allen, and I don't like when we trade for players. I don't like the compensation we get back, especially when we trade for the Eagles. But other than that, I think we had some solid drafts. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Mike. And what I think about our draft that we just had, I don't know if it's gonna be best in history, but I will say this: I feel good about Fuaga. Like I'm not really worried about him too much. I feel damn good about Kool-Aid. I'm not really worried about him too much. And Spence Rattler, we got him for a 5th round pick. So if he pan out, good. If he don't, it was just a 5th round pick. And we got a couple of other guys. I think we got like
Bub was in the 5th. I want to say, man, they got the D tackle in the 6th. They got that other linebacker from UT. He spent most of the offseason hurt so far, man. I think it's Ford. I think Jalen Ford is his name, man. So I mean, I think the draft is not bad, but we ain't gonna know what we have until they get out there.
Yeah, I'm trying to see who do we get in the 3rd round? Like who was our 3rd pick? I know we had Fuaga first, then we had Kool-Aid. Who was the 3rd guy we selected? I forgot. I think
it was Spence. Because they had, let's see, first round Fuaga, 2nd round was Kool-Aid. They didn't have a 3rd. They didn't have a 4th. I think the next pick that they made, man, was Spence. And I think they had like 3 5th round picks. So it was Spence, it was Ford, and it was Bub. And I think, Rattler was the 3rd pick. So it was Spence, then it was Bub, then it was Jalen Ford. I want to say they picked up the D tackle in the 6th round, then in the 7th round, who else was it besides that? Damn, didn't they almost have a Mr. Irrelevant themselves?
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think of the whole draft, man. I know I'm close. I know they got it's the Samoan man, so it's the bloodline, bro. It's Kool-Aid, it's Spence, it's Bub, Jalen. I think his name is Colin, man, and somebody else after that. Damn, it's slipping me right now, man. Somebody gonna catch it though.
You see, Hurricane Mike said was Ezra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what the 7. He was almost Mr. Irrelevant.
All right. Taylor Mayer says, how good is the secondary going to be? Let me get you back. You back?
I'm here, fam.
All right. Taylor Mayer said, how good is the secondary going to be with Sean, Debo, Alante, and Kool-Aid? Can we make a case for having the strongest in the league?
Hands down, no question. Like right now, if all are healthy and playing, I would put the same secondary against anybody in the league. And mind you, that's just the corners. That's not even counting, how well, even at his age, Badger played at safety. Now, the true safety spot is going to be whether or not they bring in somebody like a Jonathan Simmons, man, or somebody like that, man. If they bring in Justin Simmons, I'm sorry, they bring in Justin Simmons. But John Abram right now, between him and Howden, that's going to really be the thing. Who plays well enough at free safety? Because we know, Badger's going to play the other spot. So that's really the weakness in the secondary right now. And I wouldn't even call it a weakness because Howden played well as a rookie, but the hype they gave him was Marcus Williams type of hype, and he ain't live up to it. Right. Hey, salute to fam, man. Salute to the podcast, bro. Keeping it real.
Yeah, man. And if y'all not subscribed to Keeping It Real, Who That Podcast, man, you're missing out. And that man got some good content he got over there. And he give back to the community, helping out Uptown. He does community work with Harrell Park. I even played for Harrell Park. He also know a lot of my family members. So, man, shout out to Dolph, man. Keep doing your thing, Dolph. Let's see. Mike says, if Spencer Rattler pans out, how good would you think we can be in the future?
I think if Spencer pans out, the future is bright as hell for the Saints because you got Spencer on a rookie contract. Now, I know Derek Carr can be up. I think there's an out. I want to say if not next year, 2025. I think after 2025, there's an out for him. So let's say they keep Derek one more year, and then the plan is to put Spencer in that spot. If that's the situation, then you got a rookie quarterback that you can build around because, again, the salary cap for the Saints, although they've slow cooked this thing, is actually going to be in a really, really good spot. You're going to lose Alvin. You're going to lose Jamal. You're going to lose Cam. You're going to lose a bunch of DeMario. You're going to lose a bunch of these veterans. But in the idea of losing them, you also gaining a whole lot of cap space. So by the time the cap catch up to where the Saints are with their draft picks, with their roster, you might have Spencer on a rookie contract, and you could basically Seattle Seahawks this thing. You can put everything you need to behind them, and the Saints can take off because the NFC South is there for the taking. Tampa is not going to overnight become good. They got a slow build. Atlanta trying to slow build, and they got their quarterback of the future already. And then of course there's Carolina, that's a total reconstruction project right there. So if the Saints can actually make a move sooner or later on what they're gonna do with Spence, or if he can take the reins, bro, you basically can strap a rocket to his back because that's where the Saints are going.
All right, we're going and go ahead on the shift things to the Pelicans and get up out of here. Don't take up too much of beat time. 55 minutes in, we like to wrap things up within an hour. Plus, I think a lot of other Saints podcasts are coming on around this time, so I'm gonna let them get their shine on. Let's talk about these Pelicans, man. Like, what you think is going on with this Saints and BI thing? Like, we've been hearing that he was on a trading block. We're looking for suitors. We're not seeing eye to eye. Now we're getting new news that they have reconciled and everything is going good, and they just want to remain, they want to remain on good terms with each other, and BI remains a Pelican.
You have a, I don't know if you did it, bro. I'm a little bit older, so I'm gonna say what I did. When I was a kid, bro, I once threatened to run away from home. I was at my uncle's, bro. Now we from the Ninth Ward. I'm at my uncle's house. He live on Jordan Ave, right there by the levee. And I was like, man, I'm pissed off. I don't like it. I'm leaving. I'm running away. And my uncle let me walk out that door. And by the time I got to, from the front porch to the street, and I look back, I was ready to turn my ass around and go back home. That basically was BI right there, man. Like, it sounds good to say you leaving and you going somewhere else, but what happens when you ain't got no damn where else to go? Then you got to bring your ass back inside and act like everything is all good again. That's exactly what happened to BI just now. It sound good. I'm leaving the Pelicans. I ain't happy. Y'all trading for this. My name in rumors. I'm going to get $50 million somewhere else. And then you realize, boy, ain't nobody about to pay your ass $50 million, especially after what we just seen you do in the playoffs. Now, had he asked for that money after they played Phoenix? Maybe. Because he was looking unstoppable then. But right now, nah, brother. Go ahead on and sit down. Go ahead on and apologize and tell everybody you ain't mean it, and act like everything is good, and then walk next year like you was going to do anyway when they're going to sign and trade you and get whatever they're going to need then. But right now, there's not a market for him. The Pelicans can't trade him. He can't get the money he wants. So it's in everybody's best interest to play nice for a year or play nice to the deadline, and then we'll work on it from there. But as far as Ingram being happy or wanting to reconcile, I don't think he ever wanted to leave. But I damn sure don't think he thought he wasn't going to be able to get the money he wanted here. Now he realized not only the Pelicans not going to give it to him, nobody ain't giving it to him. It's nice. I'm glad you're home, B. Go ahead on and sit in the back there. The food be ready in a little bit. Sit your ass down and be quiet. We'll see you in a little bit.
It's funny you said that because I remember I tried to run away from home too, but it just so happened it started pouring down raining that same night, so I didn't even leave the porch.
It hit a little bit different when you go outside. You see that thunderstorm, and that's what happened to Brandon.
Yeah, man. But I know it's early right now, but what do you think about the players that's balling out in the summer league right now, and some guys who's not really doing all that well?
I don't pay attention to summer league like that, fam. I don't think summer league catapults to the real league because one, you playing against people that are more your speed. Like, for lack of a better way of saying it, LeBron ain't out there.
Right.
Herb ain't out there guarding you for summer league. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different when you got some of the best out there. So yeah, I like to see. What I like to see is, can you shine against people of your talent? Which is why I'm a little bit questionable about Jordan Hawkins right now. To me, he should be one of the best players in summer league. It's not your first time. It's your second go round. And if you really like that and you really one of them shooters, you should be on your game right now. I think if I'm not mistaken at this point, I want to say he's something like 5 for 13. I'm sorry, 5 for like 20 something or something like that from three. That's not great, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's been 2-3 games. He's been, I think he went 3 for 8 or 1 for 8 the first game, 2 for 8 the second game. Like, he's not stroking it like he should be. And I ain't going to say that Paul shit. I'm a grown ass man. So, like, he not out there shooting like he's supposed to. So for me, I'm like, you should be dominating. So I don't pay attention to it. If he get out there with Zion and Bi, and DeJounte, man, and he still can't hit from the outside, maybe just maybe either one or two things happen. Willie Green broke his confidence, or he's not as good as we thought he was, and Willie saw it the whole time, and we just didn't.
Well, one guy that has been pressing a lot is Carlo. He's been impressing everybody.
Carlo been doing his thing. I'm happy for him, bro, but me personally, for as good as he's played, I don't think that's the answer at center. Like, I don't see him running out there starting unit being like, all right, go. Now, on the flip side of that is, if you got DeJounte starting with Herb Jones, Zion, you're probably gonna put Bi out there, and then you put Carlo as a starter as the starting center. You don't really need much from him because you got a lot of firepower out there. Your bench is gonna be CJ, Jose. You'll come with Trey, and you'll have Eves, Messi out there as well, man. You pick who you want at the power forward spot at that point. But I mean, to be quite honest with you, bro, it really is a situation to where you shouldn't need that much firepower from Carlo if you got him out there. You just need enough space to floor and give Zion some space to work with.
Yeah, Messi, he's been kind of struggling. He's kind of looking robotic out there. I think he really needs.
He looked like Jackson to me.
Yeah, I was just about to say that on Twitter this morning. I was like, man, this dude giving me Jackson vibes without
without the hair.
Yeah, I don't think he could dunk like Jackson either, though. But that's just me. But he does have hustle, but he definitely needs to develop with his handles and his moves. But I don't think we did a show since we have got DeJounte Murray. I don't.
Yeah, man.
I don't believe I got your.
It's been a while. I love the move, man. Especially if you go like I seen somebody earlier, man, say they was gonna put Herb on a bench. I'm like, why would you do that? Like the whole point of him and Herb being out there so they could lock down the perimeter because you don't have a rim protector behind you. So for me, man, I just like you can compound problems by trying to overthink it. I don't give a damn if CJ made 30 million or 50 million. You put him on the bench because DeJounte and Herb are a better starting lineup. You put DeJounte out there at the point guard, Herb as shooting guard. You put Brandon at the 3, Zion at the 4, Carlo at the 5, or whoever you're gonna put out there. That's your starting unit. You roll with that. You come off the bench with CJ, Jose, and Trey. And maybe, like I said, maybe Eves if he's good enough. But I'm like, your squad is there. Why would you overthink it? CJ needs to go to the bench. So I love the DeJounte move.
We got Barry Knight up in the comment section. Says salute to you and Bryan, my brother from another mother. Keep doing your thing.
That's what's up, Barry. Good seeing you, fam. That's a solid dude right there, man.
Let's see. Okay, well, DeJounte Murray. Would you have rather us get Trae Young instead, or are you happy with Murray?
I was happy either or. Now my preference would have been Trae, but defensively. You do like Willie gonna preach defense. So if as much as you can give him an out to why he doesn't have to say anything, that's even better. So for me, I like DeJounte's defensive prowess more than I would when it comes to a Trae Young. But to me, Trae Young a threat. The minute Trae Young step in on a court, he can hit it. So he kind of reminds you of Steph Curry with that, man, to where he's that threat. But I don't think Murray's that far off either. So I mean, I don't mind either or. I would have preferred Trae. But DeJounte ain't that. It's like 1 and 1A if you really want to call it like that, man. I would have preferred Trae, but I ain't mad at DeJounte either.
Yeah, Trae Young, he kind of remind me of a Gilbert Arenas, man. I think Steph. I think he's just on a whole nother level when it.
Yeah, Steph on another planet, man. But I would say this: the one thing I don't know if DeJounte have it yet, but the one thing I seen with Trae that I love, he don't mind being a villain. He don't mind. He will go. I mean, he will go bulk with his elder bars looking ass, and he will basically go out there and tell you, "Stop me if you can. I'm about to fire it up from 50," and he gonna do it.
Yeah, can you imagine if we would have got Trae and he would have played that villain role like how he played with the Knicks with the Grizzlies? Woo.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, bro. We need
popcorn bussy TV
every
time for the Grizzlies.
Now, and I actually think the Grizzlies play a huge role in why they went with DeJounte instead of going with Trae, because they already know Ja coming back healthy gonna be a problem. They're gonna need somebody to slow him down, and Herb can't do it by himself. And with them losing Dyson in the trade or whatever like that, man, that's a huge thing because Dyson was supposed to be, Herb light or whatever like that when it comes to defense. So now you got, perimeter set. If BI step up defensively, the Pelicans gonna have a nice little squad out there, man. As far as their length and their athleticism, they'll have a nice little squad out there, man, to be able to, guard the perimeter and basically protect the fact that Carlo ain't no rim protector. Neither is Zion, to be honest.
Are we a player away from contention?
Depends on who that player is. I think, to me, I'll say this. There's rumors that the Pelicans may or may not be interested in DeAndre Ayton. The question is, how do you get him? Because the only way I see it happening to where it's legitimate, to where it makes the Pelicans the best squad possible, is that you don't trade BI, you actually trade CJ. And I don't think Portland wants CJ. Now, DeAndre Ayton is soft as a Pop-Tart. So I don't, he all around the outside, you see nothing but rough and rugged. And the inside, that boy is soft and sweet. So I don't really know exactly what you get from him that you really need. Like, he's almost like a Karl Anthony Towns to be honest with you. Karl not about to bang in the middle. That's why they went and got Rudy. So I think that's the Pelicans' problem. You need a floor spacer. but you also need an intimidating force if they get past DeJounte and Herb. And I don't know if they have that. So are they a player away? No, but 2 players away. I think they are. I think if you can get a center that can be more of an enforcer in the back, and I still think you need one more shooter on the outside. Now, is that Matt Ryan? I don't know. Do they need another one? Is Hawk gonna step up? I don't know, but they need one more solidified shooter, and a nice intimidating presence in the middle when somebody get past the front line.
Is there any 2 guys that come to mind who would you like to see us go after that's possible that we could obtain?
I think if his game is back right and his mind is back right, I wouldn't mind seeing him go after a dude like Duncan Robinson from the Heat. I wouldn't mind. He's a dude that can get hot from the outside and absolutely light it up, but he's also got enough size to help you rebounding wise and stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind seeing a Duncan Robinson. He's a floor spacer as well, man. So I like a Duncan Robinson type. As far as in the middle, Jared Allen. But I think that ship is sailed at this point because I believe Cleveland wants to keep him and pair him with Mobley, man. So I think they got something there. So for me, maybe you go that route. Maybe you go after you try for a Brook Lopez or somebody like that, man. So I mean, at this point, it's hard to say because I think teams are pretty much set. I don't know too many more major trades that's going down right now, but I think that's the Pelicans thing, man. I think if they can get a rim protector and they can get themselves another outside shooter, I think they legitimately be a top 4 team in the West as long as Willie don't screw it up because Willie have a lot of Dennis Allen in him.
Well, I personally think that if we would have got Trey, I would like to see us go after Jared Allen. But since we got Murray, I want to see us get Laurie.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Laurie, but look, Danny Ainge playing games, bro. He playing games. Now, Laurie is basically a combination of a Jared Allen and a Duncan Robinson. You get kind of both in one. You get a dude that can stretch the floor and somebody that's not scared to bang in the inside. Because, Laurie looked like, he looked like a crack on with butter on it. But when it comes to him balling, he ain't scared at all. So I wouldn't mind that at all. But Danny Ainge playing too many games. Danny Ainge will call you and tell you, oh, I want 3 first-round picks. And when you say, okay, cool, then they tell you, and you know what? While I got those 3 first-round picks, let me get 2 of your players, a cup of tea, 5 more picks for 5 years later. Like Danny Ainge played too many games, bro. That's how he was able to build up that asset stockpile in Boston and let it collect dust. He pump fake a lot. And he always trying to outsmart the entire world when he make trades. He remind me a little bit of, man, like, while they playing checkers, he playing chess. Sometimes you sit at that board, you stare too long, man. Your opponent get up and walk off on you. That's what happens to Danny Ainge. Ain't nobody about to give him 5 first-round pick, 3 players, a partridge in the pear tree for damn Laurie Markkinen. It's not happening.
So assuming that we do get another center that could start, might not be elite, but, it's somebody that everybody's kind of like fine with given the circumstances. And we probably keep BI. What do you think this team's ceiling is?
I think if they can make it happen, bro, I think right now, as presently constructed, they're a top 8 team in the West. I think if they can get the pieces that they need, they're a top 4 team in the West. I think if they can stay healthy, Western Conference Finals. If they get lucky and they can make it to the NBA Finals, it's anybody's ball game depending on who they play.
But last season we were leading the West before the injury started.
Before the injury there was a top seed. Even when things got bad, they were still in the top 4. Yeah. So I mean I think they can make it that far, but the Pelicans never stay healthy. So I can't and not to mention that, but sometimes, man, it's not who you gain, it's who you lose. I think losing Fred Vincent and his ability to help teach players how to shoot, I think that might be a bigger loss, man. Like the Pelicans are starting to lose a lot of trusted people, in the locker room as far as coaching is concerned. At some point, losing good coaches, it catches up with you. Now, will they replace them? We'll see. But I think at some point that will. But I mean, for me, man, the Pelicans can be a top. Like until you show me you can be more than a play-in Pelicans, I'll believe it.
Play-in Pelicans. All right. One more question before I let you go, man. Right now, is the Pelicans roster right now better than last season's roster?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
A lot of people feel like
we
lost a lot with defensively with Daniels, and we lost a lot with Jonas. But
I would say this: the Pelicans have nobody in the middle right now that I'm comfortable in. But I think the other gains are better. Like Larry Nance, to me, I told you this on your show, bro. You asked me what's a hot take for the Pels. I said if Jonas got more minutes than Larry, the Pelicans would be in better shape. Come to find out, both of them gone now, but it turned out to be true. Larry, for as much as he loved New Orleans and as good as he was as far as him embracing the city and playing his role, Larry wasn't that dude out there. Good good role player at times, bad guy to count on. So I think the Pelicans will be better off when they can fill that void. But bringing in DeJounte, I think, man, I think that makes a world of difference, especially if they find a way to keep Bi.
It's
If they can
crazy.
keep this current roster, they'd be crazy, man.
It's crazy because Marshall looked like he ain't even happy being with a championship team right now.
Yeah, I ain't seen that boy smile since he left.
he like Eric Gordon out there when he signed with the Pelicans.
Yeah, man. I mean, losing Najee, you know what I'm saying? Losing Najee defensively gonna hurt a little bit, but I think you can replace a Najee. Replacing Yon is gonna be a little bit harder. I think they can, but it's gonna be a little bit harder. But the gain, I would say this: if somebody told me you got to trade Larry Nance, Dyson Daniels, Jonas Valanciunas in order to get DeJounte Murray, would you make that trade? I'd say yes in a heartbeat. And that's exactly what the Pelicans did so far, and Najee, of course.
Yeah, well, we
So I
definitely
think,
need point guard. But
yeah. So I think all of those losses and that one game equal out.
Yeah, because I just can't stand when the game get tight and we just do a dumb turnover and people just passing the ball just erratically and stuff, and it be just, man, I just can't stand it. Just slow the game down, bro. But we're gonna have to see what's gonna have to happen with this team, bro, and the Saints. But thanks for your time, though, B, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and let you get up out of here. We've been going on this thing for an hour and 10 minutes now. Appreciate you joining the show, fam.
Man, you already know, fam. That's what's up. Salute to everybody out there, man. Y'all be safe, and catch y'all on the next round.
All right, man, for sure.
That's what's up, fam.
All right. Yeah, man, that was B, man. Always joining the show, coming support, man. Appreciate y'all for watching. Appreciate y'all for joining in the chat, being interactive, asking questions and stuff, man. We had like 10 viewers this time in the chat. Sure, man. This was fun, man. I ain't get on this thing in a long time, bro, but I don't really want to just get on every day and just have my questions and topics be redundant, man. Just talking about the same stuff over and over, beating a dead horse. Like, I want to let stuff build up and then come on. But once the season start and then the preseason come around and when the regular season come about, like, yeah, we're going to have this content pushing out way more and more and more. We're going to have something to talk about all the time because this is our team, the Saints. And one thing the Saints going to give us is something to talk about. But right now, it's just that part of the season where it's the off season right before camp. Ain't nothing really going on. But once this preseason start coming on and we start getting into training camp and all that a little bit more deeper, it's going to be a lot of content to be pushed out there. Let's see. We got Mike say no cap. When do you want to come on to my show? Just hit me on Instagram or hit me on Twitter. I'm not really sure if you follow me, or you could just email me, man. I'm gonna put my email down in the comment section below. That way you could contact me and we could get in touch from there. Let's see. Let me put my email down in this comment section so that way you could really get in touch with me. So my email is no cap, and we could set something up. No cap, no filter. No cap, no filter. 7 at Gmail. All right, so this is not just for Mike, this for anybody who want to collaborate with me. If you want me to join your show, if you want to get on my show, just hit me in the email and we can set something up, man. No cap, no filter 7 at gmail.com, man. So if y'all want to do any type of hosting together, man, just email me, man, and just let me know who you is, and we can make something happen, man. I don't really mind coming on people's show talk about Saints content, especially if it's short, like, an hour, because I only run my shows for like an hour. So, just let me be on y'all show for like an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, and we good. But just hit me, Mike, or hit me, anybody else in the comment section, and sure, we can make something happen. But yeah, man, who that, man? Let's get this preseason started, and this more content going to be soon to come. But y'all be safe out there, man. Stay blessed.